Greetings, folks. This is DC Investing. I have reached financial independence and I talk about topics to help others on their pathway to financial independence. And today I want to talk about slavery and specifically financial slavery that we all have to do in order to live and work in this life. And basically, you're stuck working to pay for your housing, your food, your clothing, your transportation, and all of the things you need in life. You have to trade your life for money, meaning that you give your number of hours over to your employer in exchange for the money that you need to live on. And it is a form of slavery. I personally worked in a gray cubicle in an engineering job for about 25 years. And we all kind of joked about it as, hey, we got to work in our little prison cell here. And it was just a gray cell. Granted, I got to go home from it at the end of the day, but it still felt like slavery a lot of times. So how do you buy yourself some freedom? And today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the Social Security system, because basically every year that you work, you are paying into that system and it's buying a portion of your freedom eventually. And so it's not enough to completely buy your freedom, but for a lot of folks who retire, it makes up a good chunk of their freedom money. And so the Social Security has a formula for how much money you're going to eventually get because you've put into the Social Security system. And for a finance nerd like me, I spent the time to go look it up and figure out how to calculate it so I could figure out what kind of payment I was going to get someday. And it's kind of interesting. If you go and search it, it'll teach you one more piece of your financial puzzle. But yeah, there's a formula you can put in, and you can also download the number of years that you've worked and see the dollar value for each of the years that you worked. And basically 35 years, your highest 35 years of earnings are used for your Social Security calculation. And then they kind of inflation adjust the years from like decades ago into today's dollars. So there's an inflation factor that's kind of built in, but basically you're working for 35 years in order to buy a piece of your financial freedom. Um, and I think in today's dollars, about a third of the money that retirees use to retire on comes from Social Security on average. So it's basically you're buying a third of your financial freedom by doing the Social Security system. And let's see, some other thoughts on that. You pay about 14% of your income towards the Social Security and Medicare system. Um, you don't see half of that. Your employer pays it, but it is part of your wages because your employer is paying it. And if they didn't pay it into the Social Security system, they could pay you, 6.2% more in wages. So you are paying, 14 point, what is it, 14.2 or 14.6% of your wages every year in order to get your Social Security eventually. Um, you do get slightly higher payments as you make more money up to what they call the Social Security wage base, which I think is near $175,000 this year. Could be, give or take 10 grand or something, but any amount up to that, the Social Security wage base adds to your Social Security. But for higher earners, it's not completely even. So there's a base rate where you have the highest contribution to Social Security, and then as you earn more, it makes less and less of an effect on what you're going to get eventually. And it's kind of, you can think of it as more of government stealing. If you put that money yourself into a system, you should get a certain return, but the government has to spread that money across a lot of folks. And they use Social Security to pay out disability, and I'm sure there's other fraud that's invested in or involved in there too, but whatever. So it's not completely even. There's a formula. As you make your first amount of money, it creates your base of Social Security, and then as you kind of go up, there's certain tiers where less of the money you make adds to your Social Security, but still makes a difference to something. So anyhow, it's worth learning what the Social Security system is going to do. And there's also Medicare. So basically Medicare kicks in at age 65. So at age 65, you have basically purchased the freedom from the medical system when you've reached that age after working at least 35 years. And that is part of your freedom, because medical costs are, you know, $25,000, $28,000, $30,000 a year for most people if they were buying their own insurance. So that is part of the system, is you are buying yourself medical freedom at age 65, and you can claim Social Security at age 52, if you, or is it 62? Sorry, age 62. So, that is part of the freedom. And if you work more than 35 years, then it doesn't make a difference on your Social Security, um, unless you make more in your end years than the equivalent early years, like 35 years ago, inflation adjusted. Then it'll change your formula a little bit, but it's not nearly the same as not working a year. So if you're working more than 35 years, you'll get a little bit of a change in your Social Security, but it really doesn't change by all that much. And so, if you can figure out how to only work 35 years, then you win, basically. And um, so that's kind of part of how you buy yourself freedom, is you're working in the Social Security system. And if you had access to your own money and invested it, you could do better than the Social Security system. But I've heard that Social Security is not bad. It may be like a 4% return on the money you put in over the many years. It's not great, but it's not bad. So anyhow, just kind of thinking, as you look at that withdrawal from your Social Security or from your paycheck every month, you see that Social Security deduction. It is a piece of your overall buying your freedom. It'll provide eventually a third of what you need probably to live on, but then your Medicaid covers all of your health insurance. Well, part of it, because you still have premiums and some other things. So it pays a lot of it. Maybe it's, say, 2/3 of your medical costs are covered, and then you have to cover a third, but then Social Security covers 1/3 of the cost you're going to need someday. For me, I wanted out of the system earlier. So I didn't retire at 65. I got out a decade earlier, because I've reached financial independence, meaning I've put enough into savings that my money now is working for me, so I don't have to work anymore. But I will collect Social Security. I'll probably delay it till age 70, because it'll kind of create an inflation adjusted protection for my wife. I don't plan on needing Social Security, but I know I want it there for my wife, just in case something doesn't work out with our investments. So anyhow, it is a piece of my future financial freedom. Social Security, I've worked over 35 years, filled up all of those slots. I don't have any gaps in that. Well, I mean, there's some gaps, but I've worked over 35 years in my career, starting at like age 16 or something. And so I don't know, those are some rambling thoughts. Social Security, you can think of it as a piece of your buying yourself from wage slavery, by your contributions to Social Security. It will make a difference, assuming the program is still intact someday. And I think it will be, because Social Security is such a huge power grab from the government. I don't think they'll let that go, because it provides a huge amount of power for them. So anyhow, those are some of my thoughts. Like, subscribe, think of Social Security as part of your freedom number, and we'll see you. Bye.